everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the first update in my project pan for 2024. Today is February 29th. I did my intro to this project pan a little late, so it was like mid-January. So I just decided to do my update at the end of February, taking it from January through the end of February. My hope for next month is to follow the same pattern where I will update on the last day of the month, but we will see, because like I mentioned in my previous videos, I am pregnant and I am currently at 37 weeks today. So I could have the baby anytime in the next month. So we shall see. I do intend to wear makeup somewhat postpartum, but we obviously will just have to cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't know exactly how I'm going to be going about this, but hopefully I will have the energy and the ability to update this project at the end of next month, or at least at the very beginning of April, so that I can get my progress out to you guys. But let's go ahead and dive into this first update. This year I'm doing things a little bit differently, having all my products in one project. So I'm having both like face products and eye products all together. I am currently working on 5 main products and then 5 eyeshadows, sort of like a Pan Those Eyeshadows quintet. So we will start off with our 5 base products and then we will move on to the 5 eyeshadows. My first product is my concealer, and that is my e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This is the hydrating variety, and I have the shade Fair Beige. Now you can see there is a ton of windowing in here. There was already a ton of windowing, but I have officially pulled out the stopper. So this is all that's coming out on the wand, and you can see it's very, very minimal. There's very little left, and I don't really think that this is gonna take me much longer to finish, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep it in because I do have a spatula, so I can scrape the sides with this. It's very easy to use. I really like this one, so I don't mind taking a little bit more time to use it. This last month and a half, I did use it 30 times in total, so I got some really good progress. Again, I think maybe it'll take me another 15 uses to get it truly empty, but it shouldn't take me the entire month. And just as a note, I don't normally take stoppers out of things. That concealer is just really easy to work with even when the stopper is out. So I just decided to go ahead and do that. My next product is my foundation, and that is my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Foundation in the shade 1 Natural. So this one, my goal is to empty as well. I have used this one 27 times in the last month and a half, and you really can't see much progress, so I didn't even bother marking it here on the back. The only thing you can tell is this portion from here down, it is actually starting to window slightly. I can see it. I don't think you'll be able to see it on the video, but it is starting to clear up there. So I definitely feel like there's been progress. It just hasn't shown up where I can mark it. There isn't a whole lot else to say about this. I actually am really enjoying using it every day. I don't normally go for a full coverage foundation for every day, but I feel like this has still been working really well. I just want to get it used up because it's been in my collection for a while, and it's the last foundation that I have. So I want to use this one up, and then I'll buy another clean brand. My next product is my highlighter, and that is my NARS Fort de France highlighter. I have been working on this highlighter for like 3 or 4 years now, trying to get it finished up, and I'm very happy with my progress on this one. I repressed this, and this is where we're at now. So I have very little product left in here. I used this a total of 36 times this last month and a half, and man, yeah, it's basically gone. As you can see, there is almost nothing left. I think this will take me 5 days tops to get this finished up. So in that case, I'm not going to completely consider it an empty because it's not completely empty. So I will still show you the full empty pan next time, but I'm going to go ahead and roll another highlighter in its place. So if you watched my makeup collection video from earlier this year, you will know the only 2 highlighters I have are the NARS Fort de France and then this other NARS highlighter in the shade Last Call. It was from the Atomic Blonde palette, but I depotted it. So I now have it just as this standalone. I was working on this one a couple years back as well, trying to get this emptied out, but I want to finish this one this year as well if I can. The pan is smaller than the Fort de France pan, and you can see I have a really nice amount of pan already in there. So I don't know how quickly this one will get used up. It probably will take me most of the year, if not all of the year. But I think that I can get it done this year, just with the fact that these edges are actually pretty thin in these 3 areas. So I will definitely have to repress this within the next 2 to 3 months, I think, just to make it easier to use. And when I do that, I will actually put that in this pan because it'll just be easier. This is a really nice component and it still works really well. So I'll just repot this into this whenever it's time to repress it. Next, I have my blush, which is my Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush in the shade Pillow Talk. I used this one 36 times as well. However, the progress is not nearly as visible. In fact, I'm not even sure you can see progress. I have used this obviously I've used this pretty much exclusively over the last month, and I enjoy using it. I really, really like it, but you can't really see any progress on it at this point, which I wasn't super expecting to see a ton of progress on it, at least not for a good while. I am trying to disperse my use pretty evenly across the pan because you kind of are supposed to get the color and then dip it in the center to give an extra dose of shimmer. So it's not your normal blush where you can target a specific area of the pan. You kind of have to use the whole pan. So yeah, you can't really see any major progress with this one, but I'm just really happy to be getting usage out of it. And I do hope to hit pan on it by the end of the year. And then our final product in this portion of the project is my lipstick, which is my Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips 2 lipstick in the shade JK Magic. So my goal is to empty this one. And honestly, I'm not sure how much progress I've made yet because I haven't compared it to the photos, but this is where I am currently at with it. It is completely rolled up. Like I said, I want to empty it because it's getting older and I do like using it a lot. It's a really nice neutral shade, but I will also be glad to get it out of my collection just because it's been in here for a little while and it'll be fun to change it up. I used this one 21 times this last month. Again, I haven't looked at the progress photo to photo to know how well I'm doing, so I can't really tell you what my guess is. I feel like I see some good movement, but I definitely know it's not a ton of movement. So I have a feeling this will be in for at least another 5 to 6 months, but who knows? I'm not planning to dig out the color from the bottom. Once it hits the end and I can't get any more on my lips at reasonably, then I will just say this one's done. So that is the first portion of the project complete. Now let's move on to the eyeshadows. I will update you first and then we will be rolling in 1 or 2 shades this week. I think 2. Here is the quintet that I rolled in last month. The first shade was Celestial. The second one was Get Crackin'. The third was Orange Soda. The fourth, Culotta. And the fifth, Saffron. So those were all rolled in from these 3 palettes here. Celestial and Saffron were from the Huda Beauty palette. Orange Soda was from the Soft Glam palette. And then Get Crackin' and Culotta was from my Going Coconuts palette. Because I had 2 shades here and 2 shades here, I don't want to spoil anything. So I'm not actually going to open these palettes. I'm just going to show you the pictures as I show you each shade and talk about my usage of them over the last month and a half. So starting with the first shade with Celestial. My goal with this one is either to hit pan or to use it 50 times, whichever one comes first. Over the past month and a half, I managed to use it 18 times. So that's a pretty decent number. I still have a good amount left before I hit the 50 use threshold on that one. And I do think you can see a decent dip within the pan. I feel like, I don't know, again, I haven't compared the progress, but I feel like looking at the pan now that you can see progress. Who knows, maybe I'll hit pan on this one, but I also happen to know that these shades are pretty deep and these shimmers are not super easy to hit pan on. So there's a good chance that I won't in the next, I think, 32 uses that I need. So we'll see, but for now I'm happy with the progress and I actually really enjoy the shade, so I don't mind having it remaining within the quintet. The next shade in the quintet is the Get Crackin' shade from the Going Coconuts palette. This one I was hoping to use either 40 times or to hit pan on it, whichever came first. I did use this 15 times and I did hit pan on it at the 9th use. Now, I will say this about this shade. It's incredibly dusty. I very well may just declutter this shade after this because it's so dusty that, like, yeah, I got pan in 9 uses, which is ridiculous. I hadn't even used this shade that much and it just crumbled away almost in an instant. So for me, that's almost frustrating when a shade is so powdery and so crumbly that you hit pan almost without trying. Plus, I don't really need this shade in my collection because it is a brown and it has a weird silver shimmer in it, so it's kind of annoying because you get glitter all over your face. So yeah, I may declutter this one, but at the same time, I'm gonna just keep it around for right now, and we'll see if I decide to just go ahead and get rid of it later on in the year. But I'm happy to have pan on it. That makes me really excited. I love that I was able to achieve that. And yeah, I'm excited to roll a new shade in its place. The next shade is Orange Soda. I can show you this one in the palette, actually. It already had pan on it, so my goal was to use it 30 times just to see some expansion on that pan. And I used it 15 times as well this last month. So you can see right here, this is what it's looking like now. Not too much has changed on it. It's still pretty much where it was, but I feel like you can see some widening of that pan. I do tend to use it where it's utilizing most of the pan. I like just dip in and with my brush and grab a lot of product just around the whole pan. So I feel like it's moving a little more slowly but evenly across the pan. So this one is staying in for just a little bit longer. I'm halfway to my goal with it. And so we'll see what happens as I use this one this next month. Back to the Going Coconuts palette, because you have seen the first one, which was the main spoiler that I didn't want you to see. We will talk about Culotta. I used this one 20 times this last month, and this is what it's looking like now. The pan has expanded. I definitely feel like I can see the difference in the size of the pan versus when I brought it in last month. My goal with this one as well is to use it 30 times. So I only have 10 more uses on this one. So I'm getting pretty close. I definitely think I can use it 10 more times in the month of March. I obviously would like to empty it out eventually, but I don't think 10 more uses is gonna get it emptied. However, I'm just gonna go ahead and use it the 10 times. And if I decide throughout the rest of the year that I want to continue to try to use it, to try to empty it, then maybe we'll roll it back in. And then the final shade, which is in the Huda Beauty palette, is the shade Saffron. And again, I already showed you Celestial, so I can go ahead and show you Saffron. And my goal with this one was to just use it 10 times because it is a bright red. And colorful shades like that are particularly difficult for me to use, but I hit pan on the 10th use. You can see it's a very small pan, but you can still see that pan in there. And that is very exciting. I did not anticipate hitting pan on it. Again, I just wanted to use it 10 times. So I was really surprised when on the 10th use, I got that little baby pan. But that is very exciting. I used it exactly 10 times and I hit pan on it. So that one is gonna get rolled out this month as well. So like I said at the beginning, 2 new shades this month. Very exciting. Obviously this last month was a month and a half, so I did have a little more time than usual to work through these shades, but I still feel like I made some really excellent progress for the fact that it was only a month and a half. So now that I've given you the update, now that you know which 2 eyeshadows are getting rolled out, we're gonna roll 2 more in. All right, so I hope you can see that okay on the screen there. I have a total of 58 shades left in my eyeshadow collection. I don't know if I'm pointing to the right thing, but anyways, I have a total of 58 shades left in my collection. I am going to just randomize 2, and then those will be the shades that I use this next month. So the first one is number 8, and the second one is number 44. Okay, so this is actually kind of exciting. I feel like these colors are all working really well together. So number 8 is the shade Confident, and this is from my Single Shadows. I depotted a palette a while ago. I can't remember which palette it was, but this is the shade. It is a nice, soft, kind of mauve-y pink. It's got like a rosy tone, but it's also like slightly on the more purple side. I feel like it's not quite full pink. I don't know. The best way I can describe it is like a warm rose sort of shade. So yeah, I feel like this one's gonna be really pretty. I feel like it's gonna work very well with all the other shades that I've got going on. Let's see. There's no pan in this one. I feel like these ones might be on the easier side to pan. So let's go with 30 uses or pan on this one, whichever comes first. Also, since this is a single, I will probably actually go ahead and add this one to my Going Coconuts palette because they do have like the little magnetic strips in here. So I can attach this one to here and it's one less palette to have out and around. And the other shade that got rolled in, number 44, was also from my Soft Glam palette. So again, that's kind of nice because then it's one less palette to have out and around. But that is this shade right here. You can see it even being next to this pink one. I feel like it's gonna work really well with that Confident shade. So that's kind of cool. This one already has pan, obviously. I don't know. Let's see. I would like to expand the pan, obviously. So just any usage will help me get there. But I do find that I struggle with deeper shades like this and wanting to wear them super often. So I think with this one, I'm gonna say just 20 uses on it. I just wanna get 20 uses out of it. I feel like that's gonna help me because I still have so far to go with the Celestial shade, and that one's a little easier of a shimmer for me to work with than this Sultry shade. Again, because Celestial is a lighter tone and this one's a darker one, and so I just have a harder time wearing those deeper, smokier looks on a day-to-day basis. And since I still have 30 some uses on Celestial that need to be done, I don't want to overwhelm myself with the need to use this too often. So I think 20 uses is a pretty good goal on that one. Actually, let's put it at 25 because I put Celestial at 50, and since this one is a little harder, we'll just half it and say 25 uses. So that's what we'll do. We'll say 25 uses on this guy and then we will roll it out. All right, so here is the quintet all swatched on my hand. I feel like now that I'm seeing them like this, Sultry is more brown toned than I remembered it being. It's not quite as like pinky as I remembered, but I still think, honestly, again, I feel like all these shades are working fairly well together. I've been loving using Orange Soda with Celestial. That's what I've got on my eyes today. I've been doing this look. Actually, I've been doing this look and then like one other look almost exclusively the entire month, which is part of the reason I forgot to take pictures, but I haven't been taking a lot of pictures because I've basically just been wearing the same looks every single day. And this is the one look. And then the other one was just Culotta with Saffron, the red shade, as like an eyeliner. I do feel like I'm going to be able to do some pretty varied looks with these shades. But I probably will find like 2 or 3 that I really like and then just rotate them. I find that's the easiest way for me to use up eyeshadows and also just to like enjoy it because then I can easily rotate and feel like I'm changing it up, but not have to come up with a new look every single morning. So yeah, again, we've got Celestial, Confident, Orange Soda, Culotta, and Sultry. I feel like Culotta and Orange Soda I'll be able to roll out next time. I don't know about Celestial just because I'm not sure how much I'm gonna feel like wearing shimmers postpartum. It just depends on when I have my baby and how quickly I feel like wearing more sparkly makeup. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about all the progress that I've made. No major rollouts in the first portion yet, but again, the NARS Fort de France is essentially empty, which is huge for me. And then with the eyeshadows, I was very excited to roll out and roll in 2 new shades. I want to thank you all for being here with me and returning to this Project Pan journey with me if you were a subscriber before, but also if you're a newer subscriber or a new viewer, thank you so much for coming here and watching my videos. I do want to apologize. I have been terrible about responding to comments over the past few months. I've obviously had a lot going on preparing to have a baby and everything like that, but I do want to get better about actually like sitting down and taking the time to respond to comments. So hopefully I will be able to find some good quality time to do that where I can connect on a deeper level with you guys. I have noticed though the comments requesting why I've chosen to switch to clean beauty products. I will be doing a video about that soon. I was originally intending to film that today, but I ran out of time to actually get that plus this done, and I felt like the update was a little more important. But I will be posting about my why for switching to clean beauty products soon. I will say it's probably going to be a shorter video because I feel like there's not much I can say about it beyond just like I have 1 to 2 basic reasons and that's about it, but I do want to share those with you. So keep an eye out. I will be posting that soon. It just depends on how quickly I can get to filming it / editing it with baby coming. Again, thank you so much for giving me a little part of your day. Happy March, happy springtime, and I can't wait to see you again for the next video. Bye guys.